cause a lot of damage by improperly washing your car. So today I'm going to show you one of the number one methods where you can safely wash your car. And of course I'm talking about the 2-bucket method. The 2-bucket method is just that. Of course, as shown here, you're going to need 2 buckets. You're also going to want to make sure that you have 2 clean buckets that are free of any dirt. And if they are clean, you're going to want to wash them out first just to make sure there's no dirt or contaminants that could damage the paint on your car. So you're going to need 2 separate clean buckets as well as 2 of these dirt traps. So how the 2-bucket method works, of course, is you're going to have 1 bucket like this one here full of soap and suds, and then you're going to have a second bucket here with just water in it. And how this works, of course, you're going to want to take your sponge. When you're washing your car, you sud your sponge all up, wash the quarter panel on the car. So once you get 1 panel done on the car, you're going to want to take your sponge into your clean water bucket and scrub it on the dirt trap and wash off all the dirt, so that way you're keeping any dirt or contaminants that could scratch the paint out of your soap bucket. This helps to keep dirt and other contaminants that could scratch or damage the paint on your car out of your soap bucket, thus reducing the scratches and swirl marks and keeping your car's paint looking new for years to come. We're going to be washing my 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon using this 2-bucket method. I will also have a link to everything you're going to need for this down in the description. Any more ado, let's get right into it. So the first step is just the same as washing any other car. You're going to want to get your pressure washer or your garden hose, whatever you have will work, and you're going to want to spray down the vehicle and remove as much dirt and contaminant and debris as you possibly can. Now this step is very important. Although it may not seem it, you're really going to want to remove as much dirt as you possibly can off the car on this first spray, thus reducing the amount of dirt that is still on the car's paint that could get into your mitt and end up scratching it, as well as getting in your bucket. One other thing I do want to mention too is that your 2 wash buckets or your 1 basket, whatever method you're doing, you're going to want to make sure that they are away from the car that you're spraying off. You're not going to want any dirt or contaminant off the car to end up getting sprayed into the bucket, unlike I have done here. Also too, when you're washing off the car and spraying off the car, you're going to want to go from the top down, because there's generally more dirt on the bottom of the car, and you don't want to take that dirt that's on the bottom and move it up on the top of the car, which could risk you scratching your paint as well. So the next step, if you do have a foam can, you're going to want to take that and spray the whole car and suds, let that sit for a few minutes, and then gently rinse it all off. And then you're ready to start washing the car by hand. However, I unfortunately do not have one of those, so like I said, I just do an extra good job when it comes to washing off the car to make sure there's really nothing left on it. And now we are ready to start actually washing the car. So when you put your sponge, you're going to want to make sure you get lots of suds and you're ready to start washing the car. Start washing it by hand. You're going to want to make sure that you wash from the top down, because there's generally more dirt on the bottom of the car. You don't want to bring that up to the topper panels of the car where you could risk scratching them. So now that I have fully scrubbed one portion of the vehicle, you're going to want to take your sponge and put it in your just water bucket and scrub it against that dirt trap in the bottom. Bring it out really good. And then put it back in your soap bucket, fill it all up with suds, and you are ready to go again. Also too, when you're washing your car, you're going to want to make sure that you don't apply too much pressure with your wash mitt. Doing so can also result in more scratches and swirl marks. And also you're going to want to go in straight lines, usually back and forth, to reduce swirl marks as well. And typically I like to wash my cars in sections, so once I get the front grille, bumper, and front fenders done, I'll go ahead and spray that off, and then move on to the passenger side of the Jeep, the driver's side, and then the rear. So again, you're going to want to take it and scrub it against, bring it out really good, and then back to more suds. And as you guys can see too, one other thing I forgot to mention is you're going to want to avoid at all costs washing your vehicle in direct sunlight, just because the water and dirt and suds dries on the vehicle usually faster than you can wash it. I'm only doing that for lighting purposes of this video, so you guys can see what I'm actually doing. So now when it comes to washing your wheels and tires, it is a little bit different of a procedure, or at least I like to take a little bit different one. So next, when it comes to washing the wheels, you're going to of course just want to spray them off like you do the rest of the vehicle. Then you're going to want to get some sort of tire and wheel cleaning product and spray the whole wheel and tire again with that. I like to use Spray 9. This isn't fantastic, I just have Spray 9 dumped into this bottle. because I buy it in a bigger one and I find it's cheaper. But pretty much any wheel and tire cleaner will work. They all work pretty much the same. I just like the spray nine because it's a little bit cheaper. You're gonna want to make sure you get the whole tire and wheel as well. So once you have it sprayed with your wheel and tire cleaner, you're going to want to let it sit for just a minute or two, not till it dries. Just let it soak in and remove some of that dirt, and then of course you're going to want to spray it off. And one other thing too, when you're spraying it off, this is something I like to do. It'll make your brakes last a little bit longer. It is right in there on your caliper and your brake rotor. Get in there and just really try to spray that down. You'll see a lot of that brake dust and dirt run out. I think it makes them last a little bit longer if you take a few extra seconds and just spray in there and clean some of that out. So next, when it comes to actually scrubbing off your wheels, you should never ever use the same sponge that you use to scrub the body of the car, because it's just a fact there's always going to be more dirt. Some people even get those little wheel scrubbing brushes. In the future I will be investing in some of those as well. And you're also not going to want to use the same buckets that you use to wash your car. You're going to want to get a different one. You can still do the 2-bucket method for this. I don't think it's quite as critical because the wheels have a lot more dirt on them. They're going to get scratches. It's just kind of how it is, but that one's really up to you. But that's pretty much it. You're just want to, I always like to scrub the rim first, like so. I always like to scrub the wheel first, and then just move on to the tire. So now that I had the vehicle all fully washed off, it is time for the last step, and that is toweling the vehicle off. So I have two different towels here. This is just your average face or dish towel here. You're going to usually want a softer towel. They usually do a better job. You're also going to want to make sure that you have a clean towel and there's no dirt and it's been washed. And then I also have a cowhide towel here that is actually specifically made for drying off cars. So I'll usually go over and get the bulk of it with this towel and then finish it up drying with this towel. These leave a lot less streaks than your average normal towel. And I have heard tell some really nice towels online that you just drag it down the vehicle once and it draws the water. I will be getting some of those in the future and doing a video on it, so stick around if you're interested in that. So when it comes to toweling off, you're going to want to do the same thing as washing it. You're going to want to start from the top and work your way down. I also would recommend you guys to use either a cowhide towel like this or a microfiber towel to leave less streaks and cut down on the scratches as well. So once you have your vehicle completely dried off, now is a good time if you want to do some sort of wax or spray protective coating. Now is the time to do it. The paint is free and clear of any debris or contaminants. I will be using this hybrid solution ceramic spray black wax on my Jeep. I already use the normal stuff on my 2022 Mustang, and I think it does an awesome job. I will also be doing a video on their black wax version in a future video. I will have a link to both of those products down in the description as well if you're interested, so stick around. So I now have my Jeep all washed and dried off, looking good as new, ready for a coat of wax. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know down in the comments below, do you like using the 2-bucket method? Do you think it makes a difference? Also, if you guys want to support me, I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that would really help me out. We'll see everyone later.